Hi, and welcome to Arlington Late Night. I'm your host, Aaron Victimer. My guest tonight has been a producer and educator at Arlington Independent Media since about 2012. On the side, he's a professional juggler. They call him the Jazzy Juggler, actually. Well, Nathan Bynum, welcome.
It's good to see you, Aaron.
So before we begin, we know each other.
We do, in fact.
I was your intern for about a year, almost, just shy of a year.
That's right, and you were a fabulous intern. And I'm not just saying that because,
I really do.
Because we're on TV.
Right, because we were 3 months over.
That's right.
On the project.
Yeah, that's true. I remember you tried to get 3 months of back pay, but I said you were 3 months over budget.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah, exactly. But
Anyway,
you did make an amazing documentary, I must say.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I was really actually impressed with the work you do here at AIM, and showed me that you are an educator and a producer at the same time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was actually, I would dare say, the most fun I've had on a creative project, because it was like a local history documentary.
Yeah, it was about the Ball Sellers house.
Yep.
Which is the oldest house in Arlington.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was like, I didn't expect it to be as gripping as it was, given that it was local history. But I was really impressed with the material we were working with, and I was really happy with what we made.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated your input.
I was super happy with just the creativity that you brought to it, and also with your willingness to share your ideas with the group and disagree with the group, and find the best solution that you guys all could agree on.
Well, thank you.
It was pretty amazing.
But who's interviewing who? So we're going to, yeah, let's get started. So a juggling TV producer is quite a unique thing. So
it's unusual.
Where did you get started? Why juggling?
Well, I got started with juggling long before I got into making videos. Mm-hmm. I was about 9 years old, and I went to a drama camp in East Hampton, Connecticut. Now, East Hampton is a small town of about 10,000 people. So there's not that much to do, really, But juggling, you get 3 juggling balls, and you can juggle, and you can learn more and more tricks and all of that. And at this drama camp, there was an amazing juggler who taught me how to juggle. And he eventually taught me how to pass clubs, which is a big, sort of a big hurdle to pass. Because once you're passing clubs with other people, it gets even more fun, because then it's not just a quirky, weird thing to do on the side. Right. It's actually social. And then in college, I met a lot of people through my juggling. And I remember when I was in Mexico, I went to do a study abroad, and was living with a host family, and I did not speak a lot of Spanish at the time, but juggling Corona bottles brought us together.
That's really cool. So you say that juggling is a social activity for you. Mm-hmm. Who do you juggle with? Like, do you involve other people when you juggle?
Absolutely. I have a few friends here in DC that I juggle with, and ironically, some of my friends I met through other jugglers, and we had both juggled with each other, but I had never, well, one of my friends, I had juggled with him, and we had never met all at the same time, but they knew some of the same tricks, because the tricks kind of passed around through the juggling community. I also juggle with my nephew, which is a lot of fun.
That is cool.
So
it's a family activity.
It's a family affair. Yeah, my nephew has recently picked up club passing, and he's gotten really, really good at it. We have routines that we do together.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, that's actually a routine that we do right there. How about that?
That is fantastic.
Well, you did a good job with researching the videos. I didn't realize that, that you had this. So here he's juggling four clubs, and this is going to be a partner pattern where someone in the back is actually doing a pretty easy job. That's me. Just throwing a club up and down on either side, and he's alternating. He's basically doing a 3-club pattern that alternates between the club on his right and the club on his left, or the orange and blue club in that case.
So for the two of you, how long did it take you to learn this stuff?
That's a great question. It's funny because Nicholas watched my juggling show at the Tacoma Park Farmers Market, which I did for a very long time, and he's seen that show about 1,000 times. So he knows all the tricks, and he knows what I do there. So he probably maybe got some juggling through osmosis, I don't know. But about a year and a half ago, he started like really juggling. Before that, he could kind of juggle 3 balls. But between a year and a half ago and now, he can now juggle 5 balls. And he can do all of this. He's about to start passing 6 clubs with me in this video. And not only can he pass 6 clubs from his right hand, now he's releasing from with his right, but it's really hard to pass 6 clubs while releasing both from your right and left hand. And here he is, he's about to pass from both his right hand, and now he's going to pass from his left hand right there. So he's doing like a lot of passes from both sides of the body, and it's amazing how quickly he's gotten good at that. It was about my 10th year of juggling that I learned how to do that.
That's great.
And he's in a year and a half, so yeah, I'm a little really jealous of my nephew.
Yeah, quick learner?
He's a very quick learner.
That's great.
But yeah, it's a really great way to connect with people. And he also went to a juggling convention at the University of Maryland with me.
Wow.
And a lot of my DC juggling friends were there. So it's just a really fun way to bring generations together, because there's jugglers of all ages. Recently, my nephew and I went to the Flying Karamazovs, which are a juggling troupe. And we saw them perform in Charlottesville, and after the show, my nephew did a half pattern with one of them, because they come out after the show and greet the audience, and I did a run around with one of them, which was a lot of fun. So it's just, and they're like 20 years older than I am, some of them are. So they've been doing it for a long time.
So it's a community.
It's a community of all ages and of all, it's very fun, and
that
brings people together.
Yeah. So you talk a little bit about performance. I know performance for a juggler is a big part of the act.
Absolutely.
I'm a musician myself, as you know. And,
I do. I saw an amazing jazz.
Well, thank you. You don't have to flatter me.
It was amazing. Yeah. Well, you know, I don't have to, but it was incredible.
I appreciate that.
You should check it out. What's the name of your band?
Burke's Stage Band. Burke Stage Band.
There you go.
For our high school, it's a high school band.
Look it up, folks.
Yeah. Anyway, so I remember the first time I stepped on stage and how magical that experience was. Like, we went to a jazz club and we performed, and just like kind of the connection with the audience was really fantastic. You know, the way that I was feeling that kind of energy, it was different, and I really liked it, and I was hooked. So definitely. For you, I'm wondering if performance in a way is integral to juggling like it is for me.
That's a really interesting question, because I totally relate to what you're talking about with when you go on stage and get that excitement and the cheers from the crowd. Whenever I do my bowling ball and tennis racket trick at Tacoma Park Farmers Market, everybody goes wild. Everybody starts chanting bowling ball, bowling ball, and then I throw the bowling ball under my leg and everybody goes nuts. And these are, mind you, like mostly like, you know, adults and children in about 7 years old. So, and it's also really fun. So I love that energy. I love that wow factor.
Right.
And I've even been out. I remember one time I was walking the C&O Canal, and there was this family walking by, and this little kid, he was like all starstruck. He's, "That's the jazzy juggler." And that was pretty exciting, you know. Like
that
I got
something else.
Yeah, and he was starstruck. He couldn't speak.
Wow.
So yeah, I really do love the interaction too with juggling. As we just saw the kids get involved in the act, she just threw me the bowling ball there. They don't get involved with the knife trick so much because that could be a little more dangerous. But anyway, I really enjoy the interaction with the audience. And I know you play jazz, and you've told me that sometimes the show doesn't go as planned.
Right, there is a lot of improv too. Yeah.
Right, and that's part of what makes it amazing, you know?
Yeah.
And with juggling, it's the same thing. And I call myself the jazzy juggler, not because I have jazz playing while I juggle, but because my show has a structure, but it's very improvisational.
Right. That's cool. I hope you were not improvising totally, because you were juggling a knife.
The knife,
there.
right? Yeah. I mean, you know, yeah. I don't improvise as much with the knife.
The knife.
Yeah. Exactly. And there's a lot of banter with the crowd, and the crowd will heckle me, which I like, because then I can,
You feed off it, I guess.
Yeah, I feed off of it, and it can be fun. So the show's different every time.
So you use audience members kind of like as a bit, like you can riff off of them.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know, they get excited, and sometimes I have them all say their favorite bird, and I imitate their favorite birds while I juggle, which is usually involves throwing a club really high and going like this with the other two clubs, and then juggling again.
I can visualize that. That's cool.
Yeah, and I make fun of them with a little bit, but not too much. I'm pretty good about that. But when somebody like gets really excited or yells something, I'm like, yes, what he said, And they do all kinds of. There's a lot of opportunities to get involved in the act.
Right.
Yeah.
I know with a lot of creative people, often for them, there's like more than one way of creating. There's more than one channel for self-expression. Mm-hmm. So given that these two things are they seem kind of divergent.
The video and the juggling?
Your producing job as well as this, really it's not a hobby, it's a professional, it's a full-blown activity that you love to do. Do you feel that you express yourself through that just as you do through the medium of film? Does it feel similar?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I do. It feels less. It feels more just unprocessed. The juggling,
Right.
The juggling me when I'm on stage, it's like me exaggerated, which is why I say I'm not a clown, because clowns adopt a character, and some people don't like clowns. I think clowns are great, but they adopt a character, and they are not themselves when they are on stage.
Right.
When they suit up, they change. Their personality changes. But for me, the juggling is kind of a multiplication of the personality that's already there. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty ADD, I have things flying every which way, and I'm not always sure where everything is.
Yeah.
And juggling is like my ideal of having a lot of chaos, but somehow having it all come together the right way.
It's funny you say that, because I felt like we bonded during my internship over the ADD stuff, because we're both just scatterbrain, ADD
true.
brain. So I think it's interesting that comes out in your product.
Mm-hmm. And I like to see the ADD thing as not just a downside, but it's also, you make unusual connections, and it's not just a disability, it's also a different way of seeing the world that can serve you. And I think it does serve you too, because you make really creative, unusual connections that other people wouldn't make, like a forest time machine or something like that.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Which you used in your documentary. That was neat.
I like to brand it as interesting. It's interesting. It can be useful. It can be a hindrance. It can be frustrating. But it can also turn into some wonderful things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And juggling is an example of that for me.
Right. So I don't have high expectations, but could you try and teach me how to juggle?
I would be happy to, Aaron. You've never tried juggling before?
I think once, and it didn't go well. So
all right. Well, we'll see how it goes now. So come on over here, and maybe we can move this chair out of the way, give you a little bit of extra space. And you're going to take 3 balls. Okay. And the first step is to take 2 balls and drop them. Yay! That was fabulous. All right. That's
Thank you.
Really important.
Thank you so much.
You have to be comfortable with the drops when you juggle, because a lot of people won't do it because they are worried about making mistakes. But the more you drop, the more you're learning. So then throw 1 ball back and forth from hand to hand. And you want to throw it about eye level, or maybe a foot above eye level, in that range. That looks pretty good. Okay. All right.
I feel extra coordinated right now.
Yep. And when you're throwing, you want to kind of throw from your belly button to the opposite side of your head. And then you scoop it in and throw it from your belly button on the other hand to the opposite side of your head. Yeah. So it's like, it makes a figure 8 on its side, or an infinity sign. Ah,
like this?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's the scoop throw we're talking about.
I'm getting it.
And you have 2 peaks. One peak is on the right side of your head when you throw with your left hand. The other peak is on the left side of your head when you throw with your right hand. So you're always throwing to the opposite peak. And see if you can just look up at the peaks and not look at your hand when you catch.
So I'm just trying to keep it eye level with the ball.
Eye level or a little bit higher. You can go a little higher. The height gives you time. And that's a good thing. But if you throw it too high, you lose accuracy. So you want it to be about eye level or slightly higher.
Okay.
Great. That looks good. All right.
I'm ready
you think you're ready for the second ball?
Yes.
All right. So you're going to pick that up. Now the first thing you do with 2 balls is throw one, and when it hits its peak and starts to fall, you throw the next one to the opposite peak.
Okay.
So throws from both hands should go to the same height, okay?
This is where it gets interesting.
I don't think that anybody has ever learned to juggle on television before, just so you know.
First, great.
All right, so here we go. So it's throw, throw, thunk, thunk. Don't even worry about catching them. Beautiful, that was it. All right, so do that again.
Okay.
And try to really hit, with this hand, you're really trying to hit that peak.
Okay.
With this hand, you're really trying to hit that peak. So
Got it.
here we go. So it's throw, throw, thunk, thunk. That was beautiful. All right, I think you're ready to let yourself catch the ball.
Okay.
So don't concentrate on catching the ball, because the most important part of juggling is actually the throws, not the catches.
Okay.
If the throws are accurate, the catches come. So just go like this. Just do a throw, throw, catch, and then you don't even have to worry about the second ball. That was good. You hit your hand, which means your throw was pretty good.
It was almost there.
So you're almost there.
All right.
Yeah. Throw, catch. Okay, that's all right. Yeah, that's okay.
Third time's the charm. Let's see.
So that green one, there you go. Beautiful, beautiful. Take
Great.
this ball. There you go. All right, so you've got the throw, catch. Try that one more time. Good. Now try to do it while you kind of did throw, catch.
Mm-hmm.
Try to have the second ball go just as high as the first ball.
Okay.
That was great, and you caught the second ball. That's it. That's juggling. So
We did it.
the next step.
You are a great teacher.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You're making me look good. So the next step would be starting with the opposite hand. So
Okay.
you have done the exchange in the left hand.
Mm-hmm.
Normally you'd practice that more and more, but this is a TV show. So we're going to move on to the right hand, and you're going to the exchange being in the right hand, which means you're going to start with the left hand. So
Okay.
it's throw, catch, same exact thing, but from the opposite side. That was good from this. I think that was from the same side, but do it again. Nice, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right, here we go. Throw, catch. Beautiful. All right, well done. If there was an audience, they would be going
Yes, they'd be going nuts. Exactly.
All right, so
Thank you.
now, third ball. Now, normally, you would practice with 2 for about, 20 minutes,
Right.
3 times.
This is television.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
We're going
Keep
like
it zippy.
speeding
All right.
this up. So, you've got 2 balls in one hand. Two in, you like to start with that hand, it looks like. So
This
start
one?
with that hand.
All right.
And I'll be your mirror here. So you're going to throw the first ball, and then when the second ball, when the first ball hits the peak and starts to fall, throw the second ball, just like that. And then just catch it. You're not even going to throw the third ball yet. Throw, catch. Beautiful. So now try to make that. That was even better, because you see how much better your second throw was. Yeah. Try to keep your second throw towards you, so that you're not needing to lean out to catch it.
Right.
Nice. Wow. All right. That little higher, the second throw. There you go. Okay. So now that your second throw is really good, it gives you time to throw the third ball. So it's throw, catch. And right there. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So try that again. Just throw that gold ball.
So to get it straight, I'm throwing this ball up.
Mm-hmm.
Before this one lands, I'm throwing this one up.
That's right. And you've done that
Before this
successfully.
one lands, I'm throwing this one up.
That's exactly right. I like how we're doing this right next to the mugs. All right.
Just plop. All right.
Throw right there.
Okay. So
throw, catch. Yes, that was it. Yeah. All right. Now that was fabulous. So it's going to be throw, catch, just like that. Yes!
Almost
Amazing. All right.
we're making progress.
Give this one more try here, and your eyes should always be at the peaks. So it's throw, catch. Because if you see the peak, you know where the ball's going to land.
Okay.
All right. You want to give it one more try?
One more try.
You basically have it.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're gonna give that to you. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And of course, the next step is to throw the first ball again.
Right.
But
yes,
you can practice that.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
I feel like we made progress.
You know what, Aaron? 20 minutes a day, as a study break, and you'll be juggling in about a week.
I agree. Well, thank you for tuning in, and we hope you have a good night.
Oh, there it is. So I'll juggle us out. How about that?
Sure.
All right, here we go. So there's 5. And this is what you do. If you're me, it takes you about, like, say 6 years to learn how to do this. If you're my nephew, it takes you about a year. So there it is. And remember, everyone, you can juggle.
Wow.